So these people are sitting here at Chimney Rock, and they will not allow people to come in unless they live here, which is bullshit. We just talked to one of the people that lost their homes here, and they won't even let him in.
Oh, so another conspiracy theory come true? We were told that it was a gigantic conspiracy, that there were blockades and roadblocks in North Carolina, stopping the victims of Hurricane Helene from getting life-saving supplies, food and water, and you name it. But yet, here it is. With our own two eyes, we see the roadblocks. And listen, I'll play devil's advocate here. In many cases, some of these roadblocks may be doing some good because, as I've reported to you all, we got looters, right, that are coming into this area with moving trucks, filling up the moving trucks with stolen goods and riding out of town, right? So in some cases, the roadblocks can do some good, but there has to be some type of, I don't know, a better way to organize this. If you see a truck rolling up, how about you open it? Let's see, do you have supplies to bring these people for real? Maybe get the people's ID. Maybe keep a checklist of who's going into the area delivering goods. If you open up a moving truck and there's nothing in it and the people driving are shady, turn them around. But in many cases, even people who live in these areas are being turned around. I've heard from people who actually live in places where they can't even get back to because the roadblocks are not allowing them, as if they're not residents in that area. But when I look at this stuff, I can't help but just think, what type of people do they have working for them? Maybe they need to get some mamas out here. Maybe we need some mothers, some PTA moms could organize this better than FEMA and the US government. I've seen freaking Christmas toy drives in elementary school pulled off better than this. You can literally make some type of system. It's not that complicated. Oh, okay, you want to just come in and film videos? We ain't got time for that. Turn around. Oh, you're coming in and you got a car filled with water and generators? Come right in. They could even set up a designated area for these people to drive through and drop their stuff off. They could even have people accompanying them, making sure they're not doing anything wrong. There could be a better system. This is the government, the US government. You have everything in the freaking world at your disposal. There is not a single thing on this planet that is not at their disposal. But they can't organize something better than this? And like I said, this is when I question, I don't know, what type of people do you have working for you? This makes me worried about future generations. You know, a lot of people aren't having kids anymore. A lot of people don't have family values. I don't have kids yet myself. But when I look at this, I can't help but think, all it would take is one mom, right? All it would take is one mom or one grandma, and she would have the ball rolling. She would have everything down pat better than the US government. It's not that freaking complicated. Have two lines pulling up. This line is for people who live here. This line is for people who are donating goods. Guess what? If you're coming to donate goods, we're going to inspect and make sure that's actually what you're doing. It's that simple. But no. Now, if this was a situation where the people on the other side of that roadblock had everything they need and their life was hunky-dory right now, then okay, but that's not the case. You don't turn away help. You don't turn away supplies when people need help and people need supplies. So what's happening right now, on the other side of that roadblock, you got trucks building up, you got RVs, you got campers all posted up, filled to the brim with supplies, and they don't even know what to do with it. Let's go ahead and roll this clip, and then I'll be right back with more.
They got these motherfuckers blocking us in again. Not allowed back in there through Chimney Rock. I know they saying they're not turning anybody away, but here we are, a truck full of supplies and food and water, and they ain't allowed nobody in to give these people nothing. Here you go. You gotta give them your ID to go through. Just made it to Asheville. Setting up the camper for the night. We're gonna stay in it tonight and then head out in the morning. I drove 14 hours today. I'm fucking tired. Look at this shit just in the parking lot where we're at. Look, this car's upside down. This bitch is upside down. Damn, look how teeny the drive shaft is on this bitch. Somebody left some water. Damn, we got the cats in this bitch still? I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's just wild, man. They got these motherfuckers blocking us in again. We're not allowed back in there through Chimney Rock. I know they saying they're not turning anybody away, but here we are, truck full of supplies and food and water, and ain't allowed nobody in to give these people nothing. Here you go. You gotta give them your ID to go through.
Part of what makes this story so frustrating for me, and I'm sure it's making things very frustrating for the people on the ground experiencing this firsthand, it's that this could all be so simple. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be a complicated process finding all of the missing people, rebuilding and stuff like that. That's the complicated part. But when you have a situation that's so tragic and so complicated, you got to try your best to make things that can be simple, right? Don't make life more difficult for people when you don't have to. Because these people's lives are already going to be difficult enough. And it's not just going to be difficult in the short term, it's going to be difficult in the long term. So when you have little things under your control that you can make more simple, then you should do so. And this right here, people wanting to come and donate supplies, that can be very simple. It, at the very least, can run way more smoothly than what it's running. You shouldn't have people driving from across America with thousands of dollars in supplies being turned around by roadblocks when there's people on the other side of the roadblock that haven't gotten help, that don't have a home to live in, that don't have clean water, that don't have food, that don't have, clothes, that don't have shelter. You know what I mean? It's so sad. But things could be running so much better. But instead of figuring out ways like, hey, how can we improve this? Or how can we improve that? They spend the majority of their time online, like you all and like me. They're spending time online trying to tell us, no, this isn't happening. It's a gigantic conspiracy. And we got the videos. We know people in the area. You guys do not control the information anymore like you did years ago. You can't paint your picture and think that everyone's going to go along with it. You can't, form and spin your own narrative and think everyone's going to go along with it. This is not the 1930s. This is 2024. We are watching you. And, when you blatantly lie and you call people conspiracies or conspiracy theorists about things that we can easily prove, you're really hurting yourself because now people don't trust you. And I don't trust the mainstream media. I know you don't. I don't trust the powers that be. I know you all don't, and rightfully so, because of things like this. Why tell everyone it's a conspiracy that's not happening when it's happening? Just tell people straight up, yeah, we got roadblocks and this is why. And if you created a better system, like I explained earlier, where people who are donating can come in and things like that, then we wouldn't be having this conversation. I know that some of you all watching this video right now can think of better ways to run this whole process. And if you want, you can list some of those ways down in the comments below. Because I'm not the best organizer, I'll be honest. I'm kind of really disorganized. I don't know if you can tell. I'm not the best planner. I'm a spur-of-the-moment type of guy. Like, even the vacations and the trips and stuff I go on, I wake up one day and say, hey, today's the day, I'm going on a trip, and I just go. I don't plan things ahead of time, so I'm not the best planner and organizer. But even me, when I'm looking at this play out, I feel like there's just a few things, some that I mentioned earlier in the video, that you can do that would make this process much easier. You wouldn't have people complaining. The people who need supplies and water and food, they would get it, and everything would run kind of smoothly. But no, they don't want that. They want to have a chokehold on the people affected by this storm, because they want the people affected by the storm to rely on them. They want them to rely on government agencies. They don't want them relying on people like you and me, because then that gives less strength to the government. And that's what they don't want right now. You know what I'm saying? But for now, let me know your thoughts down below. Like I said, if you can think of better ways to organize this, let us know down below. And while you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.